Hello, everyone. You're all welcome to tonight with conversation with Susanna on Afro Carib lifestyle and achievers. So your girl is here with you guys tonight again, and I have beautiful guest with me that I'm going to be chatting with. But before I bring in my guest, I just want to say hi, good evening to everyone. I'm live. You can go ahead and start sharing, share on to your links, your friends. If you're on Twitter, start sharing it, hashtag on Twitter, on YouTube. We're live on YouTube, so you can make comments, you can send your questions to us, and we'll be able to take it. So, tonight I have a beautiful guest, and we're going to start in the next few minutes. But while we're waiting to start, guys, start sharing. You can join us, you can send your questions, and we can take it live. Yeah, I'm back again, and my guest is just right there with me. So how are you?
I'm good, Susanna. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Good to have you tonight. And I hope we're going to have fun. Everyone's going to get to know you more, and you have to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Of
Tell us
course.
about your book, and tell us, things that we would like to know about you and your book.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, Susanna. I appreciate it. And it's lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much. So, the floor is yours. First, just introduce yourself to us. Let's get to know you, more familiar with you. And everybody out there watching on a Twitter and a YouTube channel, they will like to get to know you, to know who you are. So, tell us about you.
Well, my name is Sharon Fevrier, and I'm the author of Blossom Tree. Trying to get that into the right
Yeah,
angle so
move
people
it to
can.
the yes. That is
Yeah,
perfect.
got it.
That is perfect.
Perfect. So I'm the author of Blossom Tree. I was born and raised in Luton, Bedfordshire, to Dominican parents. I'm a parent myself. I work in special needs. And I have a visual impairment due to sickle cell disease, but I'll get onto that a little bit further on down the line. But that's a little bit about myself. Do you want me to tell you anything about the book right now?
No, so the next thing I like, yeah, really, I'd like to know a little bit about that sickle cell because I've heard about sickle cells, and I have friends, couple of friends that actually promotes work on sickle cell, one in UK and one here in Ireland, and this is the first time I realized that sickle cell could actually affect your sight. I never thought that could happen. So before we go into the book, like, just tell us a little bit how did that happen? Because many people wouldn't even be aware that you might have just that partial issue with yourself. People will not really know, but how did it happen?
Okay, so sickle cell affects 15,000, roughly 15,000 people in the United Kingdom. And so most people would know of somebody who has at least the trait. But sickle cell fundamentally is the lack of oxygen flowing through the blood. And with a lack of oxygen flowing through the blood, it can affect the organs, it can affect the joints, eyesight, etc., all the major organs. Remember, we need oxygen, we need water, and without those two major things, our bodies start to have an effect by the lack of these properties. So it's really important to, from my perspective, to raise awareness, and this is one of the reasons why I wrote Blossom Tree, because I wanted people to know that we can be affected. People with sickle cell can be affected with our eyesight, with our joints, with some of our organs. It's not just about having crises, pains, but it's about other things as well. So if there's lack of oxygen going to my eyes, and that's what happened, then as a result of that, it stopped my vision from, from the blood flowing normally, and so my vision had been affected. And yeah, like I said, I think it's really important to raise awareness, let
Yeah.
people know, because there's all sorts of things, there's all sorts of implications. But I also felt that in a fiction book, how many people have written where the main character within a book has sickle cell disease? I wanted to reflect people that are within our community, people just like me.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I wrote Blossom Tree.
Yeah. So, you touch basically on why did you write Blossom Tree? You touch a little bit on it. And at the same time, I know the conversation led to that because you were telling us about how sickle cell affected your sight. So just just to be more clear, why did you now decide to write this Blossom Tree? You know, just
Well,
more
Blossom
clear.
Tree, yeah. So Blossom Tree was published on the 15th of March 2018. So this is my third year of being an author. There were two main reasons. Like I said, I have visual impairment, and I felt that many times we're told you can't do this because you shouldn't do that because you're limited, you're restricted, you're disabled. And I wanted to prove the opposite of that. I am able to write a book, to string some words together, to use my fingers to write some sentences, and for people to find it an enjoyable read. So I
Yeah.
am able to do these things with adaptations. So I use particular software on my computer, and Apple is very good with reading things back to you that you write, just to make sure that it sounds right. I use my hearing a lot as well to kind of balance out the imbalances. So that was one of the reasons I chose to write, because, like I said, I wanted to prove to myself and to other people that I am able to do this, to be an author, to be a writer. And secondly, there are many layers within Blossom Tree. And I think it's really important to touch on topics such as sickle cell, touch on topics such as domestic violence, domestic abuse, touch on topics of love and relationships and the ups, the downs, the red flags, independence, dependence, pregnancy, being a mother. There's lots of topics, and there's lots of layers within the book. And I felt it was really important to raise that awareness, even raise awareness of Dominica, where, my parents are from, and where obviously I feel I belong to. So it's really important to raise and to share and let people know, we are human. This is who we are. Many people have come back to me and said they can relate to some of the elements, and many of the elements within the book. And if I'm relating, if I have written something and people relate to it, then it makes me feel that it's a powerful thing. If they relate, if it touches your heart, if it changes your emotion somehow, then it can only be a powerful thing. So those
Yeah.
are the two main reasons.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sharon. Now, you're using your book to enable people that we thought they can't be enabled, just to enable them to see that it is possible, and nothing, nothing is impossible to make to happen. Now, who is this your target audience? Who are this your target audience that you're thinking of? And before you answer that question, I just want to say a big thank you to Pamela. How she's watching us live here, just to say thank you.
Hi, Pamela.
Yeah. So go ahead, tell us, who is your target audience?
My target audience, I would say, we're talking women, predominantly over the age of 20, 25. But, these young people are getting involved into relationships at a very young age, and they're experiencing things that maybe back in the day older people would have experienced, but because they are getting involved into certain types of relationship at a younger age, I would say, even late teens could read this book and recognize what red flags are, and people becoming aware of the challenges that maybe somebody could face that is in a relationship, that there are red flags and that they don't know what to do really. And maybe it's guidance as well. Maybe it's information sharing within the book and there's some guidance, and it's to encourage and motivate people, women ideally, because it is targeted towards women. However, I have had men come back to me to tell me that they've read the book and they understand more why a woman would remain in a relationship, and what are the factors that they would feel that they needed to remain in the relationship. Many times it could be because of the children, financial stability, it's their home, what will people say, the communities. But I just wanted to really encourage and motivate people through my work, through my writing, that there's always a different way. And the reality is, it is about your happiness and, you know, how you can move forward and feel that you are worthy, and nobody should take that worth away from you. So it's really to target those people who are feeling a bit stuck, but also to let people know you're not on your own. You know, if you're going through something, many times people are going through all types of different things. So it's about letting people know if we don't talk, then we can't hear. And I think that's really important, to talk and allow people to have a dialogue, allow people to have some place to express themselves, share the book out, express yourselves, and that I think those are my target.
Okay.
My
So
target audience.
yeah, so in summary, people from the age of 25 above, this book is the best thing for them that they can read. So if you're out there and you are up to 25 years of age, not that people below 25 can read it, but it's more recommended to people from 25 years above. And this will be a good read for those kind of target audience to be able to read.
Yeah, I think really, you know, if you're going to enter into a relationship, you know, at a very young age, you could enter into a relationship 17, 18, 19 and find that you're in a situation that you didn't expect, you know, and the book is to encourage you to be strong and find your way. Remember who you are, remember your essence. And that's the purpose of the book. So it can, you know, even younger people in their late teens could read it and relate.
And
So
relates to it.
yeah.
So someone is saying hi, Sharon, with a kiss. Um, so just to let you know that people are showing their love to you.
That's
So
lovely.
can you,
Thank you.
yeah, can you just summarize for me the blossom tree? No, so when you're doing your summarizing, these are the points I would like you to just mention. What is the challenge when you were writing the book? What are the challenges you face in terms of trying to get your view across, trying to put your words together, trying to create that kind of content, character, the beginning and the end of the book. Just tell us, just in short, what is the challenge you had? So being virtually impaired, did you have, uh, what kind of, what was your main challenge as well when you were writing the book based on that? So there's
Being
two things,
being
there's
visually
two things.
impaired,
Yeah.
being visually impaired wasn't the main challenge. Time is the main challenge.
Yeah.
You know, having a young child, running around, dropping off nursery, coming back, etc., dropping off school, coming back, finding the time and the energy to want to write. That was one of the main challenges for me. With regards to
A summary of what the book is all about.
now a summary. Okay. So Blossom Tree, once again, here it is. Just get it in.
Yeah, thank you. That is very clear.
so Blossom Tree is it's a fiction book, and it's about a character who lives in London. Her name is Chantel. She is young, free-spirited, enjoys life, enjoys all that life has to offer. She works, she's independent, and she meets a man. And very quickly, she gets involved in the relationship. Blossom Tree is in 3 sections: love, burn, and rise. And the first section, love, it's all about how she's met with this particular man. His name is Andre, and the how quickly the relationship takes off, how quickly they fall for each other, how quickly the keys to his apartment comes, how quickly, they go on holidays, lots of restaurants, they tell each other that they love each other. It's the honeymoon period, that feeling of, when your heart flutters, you meet someone, you get that kind of tingly sensation in your belly kind of thing, because you know that you've met someone and you're really enjoying being with them. And that was very much how Chantal felt in the very beginning of the relationship. So that was the love section. But love quickly turns into something else, relationships quickly turn into something else, leading on to burn. Now, burn is very much about the challenges that my main character felt, not just like some of the elements within the book are about me, about some of my experiences. So with regards to health, I would say it's about how she worked through some of the challenges she had with her health, the sickle cell, the visual impairment, what she did to overcome as much as she could, how she managed those feelings of anguish and anxiety with regards to her vision, not knowing what the future would hold, but also at the same time being involved in a relationship with a man who had his own issues, his issues of not being able to trust, not being able to be free within the relationship, very much held back. But my main character didn't know all of this before she got involved in the relationship, and there were many things that he had on his shoulders. It's very heavy, and she soon found out some of this, and then kind of moving forward again to the rise section. It's very much about how you move forward from a position of A to a position of B.
Especially after starting up a relationship and finding out all these things, and then you're like, okay, so how do we move on from here? Where do we go from here? Because the way when you start a relationship, everything is just going like just like you said, and you guys just got to a place you're like, okay, now what is the next thing? This relationship is hot, and like, where do we move from here? Where do we go? So tell the audience, where can they buy this book? Because, I'm already interested in reading this book, even from what you're saying. And this is what we want people to just start thinking of. Like, I'm thinking of it, and I'm sure so many people out there are start thinking of it. So where can we find this book?
So my book is available on Amazon. It's paperback and Kindle. It's available on Apple Books. It's available online on, apparently, according to my publisher, Concert Streams Publishing, 39,000 different channels of websites across the world. So it's not just here in England or the UK. It's available pretty much everywhere online. New Beacon Books, they are in Finsbury Park in North London. So you can get a copy in the bookshop, in the bookshop itself, or you can DM me. Send me a private message on Sharon Fevrier. My website is sharonfevrier.com. My email address. I think I can put all this information in afterwards. But
yeah, I have your website there. So I have your website. Is there?
You can see. So I'm happy to accept the DMs, and I can send one out in the post, a signed copy.
So your website is on the comment space on the Twitter and YouTube, and is on the screen now. People can see it as they're watching now. It's on the screen. So which is you can go on it, you can click on it, and you can get the book. And apart from that, if you send us information on our Twitter that you want to get a copy of this book, just send us a message, inbox us a message. We will get the book to you. If you also go onto our YouTube channel, you can also just send us messages and tell us that you want a copy of the book. Send us your email address. We'll be in touch with you immediately. We'll be in touch with you. So you will find these on all our social media platform. You find it on my website, Conversation with Susuana, on Afro Caribbean Lifestyle and Achievers. So look, this is all over the place. You write on Amazon, and we have 39 outlets online where you can find it. We will give you all the 39,000. That's like wow. So we will actually give you links to all the outlets. We put it in the conversation. So for those people that might be figuring out, oh, where do we want to get it? But talk to us, we will get it for you. So that is just something that they don't need to worry about. We will worry about how you get it. Just send us your messages. So now, so you've told us how people can find it, so how people can get in touch with you. Just tell us that again. I know that if people go onto your website, they will be able to get in touch with you, and we're going to put your details on our website as well, so if anybody wants to get in touch with you, they can as well do so. But just tell us again, where can people find you, and if they want to get in touch, I know you're on Facebook page. Tell us, what is your name on Facebook page, so that people can.
So my name on Facebook is Sharon Fevrier. My Facebook page is Blossom Tree Love. My handle on Instagram is Ms_Sharona. And you can find me on YouTube as well. So I'm literally all over the place. But a great place to find me is Instagram, MS_Sharona.
That's fantastic. And if anybody needs to contact you, you just contact us. We're here and we link you up. So tell us a little bit, about this lady, this lady behind the book. I know you've been telling us, but tell us something that, is intrigued, that you feel is intrigued about you. Is it the way you do your hair? Is it your lips? Tell us.
I'm not sure about my lips, but as an author, I mean, I like to blog. I haven't blogged for a while, and I think maybe through this whole lockdown COVID period, I feel like I've been a little bit, not to say lazy, but not necessarily motivated to write. But something inspired me to start writing a blog again last night. So I do like to blog, and I talk about everything from my heart, from my experiences, because that's all I can do. I can only refer to myself and the things that I go through and the things that I see, and maybe that friend's experience. And if I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. So I do like to put things down and just to kind of get my feelings out. I also, another thing about me is I've just come back from the Caribbean not too long ago to Dominica, and I spent a nice time there with my parents, which was lovely. So, in my heart, there are more experiences to be had in Dominica.
Just to acknowledge again, Lauren, Elise, Justine is out there saying hi to you. She said she's loving the interview. We have other people there as well, but I'm just calling out, I know, people that you really like, I guess.
Hi, Lorraine. Yeah. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Pamela. And hi to whoever else who is watching.
To everyone else there.
Ruth,
I'm just trying to figure out their names.
Well.
Yeah. So it's good to have you guys. Guys, keep sharing, tell other people about it. And if you have a question that you might not have asked her before, this is a time for you to just be inquisitive, ask her. She's live, so she's going to tell you whatever you want her, So tell me, who really motivates you? Who inspires you? I know that most of us, we might be our source of inspiration because of our experiences. But apart from yourself, who else inspires you?
Who else? You know what? I think I get a lot of inspiration, to be truthful, from my parents. And I was very much grew up with the mentality to be resilient despite all odds. And I think one of my dad's favorite sayings that I always recall him saying is, every disappointment is a blessing. So no matter what situation you're in, everything happens for a reason. You just have to you don't even have to work out what the reason is. Sometimes you just have to accept it, because it could be that it wasn't for you. What you thought was for you wasn't for you, and something else will be for you. So, I've kind of grown up with that mentality, try to keep as strong as possible, motivated and encouraged by even myself, to be encouraged by myself. I'm not the type of person, even though, we all go through our ups and our downs in life. And I found that let's not always focus on the downs. There have to be more than the downs. Let's try and keep as upbeat as possible. Sometimes we do get down. We do. but we can't stay down forever, and that's my mentality. So that's a
So
little bit.
yeah, so a little bit that person which is behind the book, because when sometimes when we are reading these books, we want to really know who is behind it. That allows us to connect somehow with you, as an author. So how long did it take you to write this book?
Well, it took me, I would say, it was roughly around 3 years. It wasn't 3 years solid writing. It was
Writing, yeah.
from start to finish, I would say, around a 3-year period.
you,
And
you know
part of
you
the
know the way when you're writing you're stopping, and yeah, so I can
yeah,
understand why it take, and then sometimes you doubt yourself, should I continue doing this, can I do this? And like you said, making time to write. So yeah, I could
that
understand the
was that
reason
was
why
one of the
you
key
say that.
things. But also, what I found was the accessibility functions on Apple products, for me, work better than some other products. And I ended up getting a different phone halfway through my writing, and I found that I couldn't use my phone to write as I ordinarily would. I'd use my phone, if it's an Apple phone, or a laptop, where I'd be able to kind of magnify what was on the screen. But I couldn't do this with this other phone that I bought. So for this 2-year period, almost a 2-year period, I had this other phone, which just didn't work so well for me. So that added time to me writing. I wrote the book, and then when I finished writing, I thought, should I send it to a publisher? I thought, all right, let me just give it a go, see what
Yeah,
happens. You never
see what
know.
happened. Yeah.
And I got a good response, and I was really happy. I think I wrote way too many words, 130,000 words or so, and I wasn't supposed to write so much. It was, the average fiction book is like 90 to 100,000, and I went to 130. So I had a little bit of cutting and trimming, and
Causing and trimming.
my editor as well, Rhoda, she was great. So she kind of helped to bring it back down as well. And I think it's always good that you have a good set of people around you, that are able to help you to cultivate it into something that's really special. You know, many times I think people put books out there, but they don't have the right team and they don't have the right backing. But I felt really supported while I was writing, not just while I was writing, because my friends really supported me, but also once I'd done my last manuscript, once I've submitted it, I felt that the team that I submitted it to at Conscious Streams Publishing really helped me to feel confident about what I have done as well. So
Okay.
yeah, confidence is a
So
big thing.
it is, yeah. So let these are questions for you. First, do you think we should fall in love? Do you think women should fall in love? Like, do you think so? So that's one question for you. The other question is writing the book, and sharing those, while you were writing the book, what do you what is it really you want to tell? What story do you really want to tell? And do you think you told that story very well, the way you want people to actually see it?
Okay, so sorry, that first question again.
So the first question is that should we fall in love as women?
Should we fall in love?
As women,
You know
should we
what?
fall in
I
love?
mean,
Because
it
yeah, go
sounds
ahead.
like such a simple thing to do. Should we? Because as soon as we can fall in love, we could fall out of love. So what is stronger? Is it loving someone or falling in love? And I kind of feel like loving someone is stronger than falling in love. I think maybe that falling in love thing happens when it's the honeymoon. You're falling for someone, you're really kind of enjoying being with them and whatever not. But then things happen, and I think that mature love is more. There's more longevity to mature love. That falling in love lasts for a period of time. So yeah, falling in love, of course, meet somebody, fall in. There's nothing wrong with being in a relationship, nothing wrong with meeting someone, and I'm a complete advocate for that. But let's fall in love with ourselves as well.
Yeah. And before you go to the second question, so hope your book is going to allow people, when they fall in love, stay in love after reading it.
My book, Blossom Tree, very much talks about that whole falling in love period. But then what happens when the love turns a little bit sour, when something isn't right, when somebody does or says something to the other person that hurts their feelings? Are you still then in love with that person, or does your love for them take over that in love feeling, and you then make a decision based on the knowledge that you have about that person, whether you stay or whether you go. And that's very much what Blossom Tree is about, making decisions about staying or going. It's not a love story. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get
It's
it
not.
twisted. Don't get it
It's
twisted.
not a love story, but maybe it's a love story for my character to love herself and know what she wants out of life.
Yeah.
It's her loving herself.
Yeah. So the second question is that did you think you were able to get your
Point
story out
across.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Okay.
it's we all meet people all the time. We all get involved in relationships, and it's not even just a physical or sexual relationship, or a relationship where you're going to meet somebody and have a romance. It's friendships. It's your colleagues. It's how much you're willing to tolerate, and making decisions based on what you're willing to tolerate. So I think I have got my point across. It's about at what point do you say enough?
Yeah. So before we go, I want you to just give a message out to your target audience that will be within your book. But before you do that, Trisha Hunt said self-love. So hi to you, Trisha. Yes,
Hey,
self-love is
Trisha.
important. We call it self-care, self-love. So that is really important for us to start doing that. So I'd like you to just give your message out to your target audience, which we are talking about today, to send a message to them. So hello, Trisha. Hi, we're all saying hi to you. Yeah, go
Hi,
ahead.
Trisha.
Yeah.
Okay. So to my target audience, I would say to you, remember who you are. Remember those hopes and dreams you had before he came along. Remember those hopes and dreams you had before you took that job. Remember what your heart used to tell you when you used to feel excited about what your future could be. And look at where you are now. How can you have those hopes and dreams once more, if they're still valid? If they're not valid, so be it. But if they're still valid, how do you get those hopes and dreams? What can you do? What steps will you take? What response? How will you be responsible for your own future? And it's not about anybody else. It's about you making decisions about what you want to do for your happiness, for your hopes, your dreams, and your desires. So Blossom Tree is very much about stepping stones, moving forward, taking that step, making those decisions, and knowing that overall it's all about you, and it's about the people that you love, that love you in the same way, and you want to make yourself happy, find happiness, and don't let anybody strip your heart and soul away till there's nothing left of you. It's about holding on to your essence, knowing who you are, loving yourself, and finding that blossom, finding that happiness that is above all you, essentially you and nobody else. We can compromise, and sometimes we find that we compromise ourselves so much that there's nothing left of us. But
Yeah.
let's just remember who we were before we met that person, who we were before we took that job, and how do we get those hopes and dreams back?
Yeah, thank you so much there, Sharon. It's a
No
pleasure
worries.
to have this conversation with you tonight. Our guest tonight is Sharon Fevrier. She's an author, and she's the author
February.
of Blossom Tree. And it's February, yeah, sorry, Sharon Fevrier, and she's an author for the book called Blossom Tree. It's been great talking to her tonight. I hope you guys have picked up something there. And for those of you that might just come watch this later on, that you're not live with us, when you watch it, send your comments. If you need the book, the link is there for you to get the book. You can inbox us and we will reach out to you as soon as possible. Tell somebody about it. You know what we mean by the word of mouth. There's nothing that sells like word of mouth. So when you hear this, buy the book and send the link to somebody else, and just to get to see the person who is behind this book. So again, tonight, I say thank you to my guest for joining me to have this conversation. It is a Blossom Tree. Go and get the book. This is the time to start reading. We're coming into winter. It's going to be cold nights. You want to read. The best thing to do without sex is reading. So that, that can fill up the space. So read, guys, read. And so thank you. It's me, Susanna, with again, your girl conversation with Susanna. Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.